Okay, let's see. Just setting everything up. Can you hear me? Okay, I have an active mic. Good, good, good. We're here. Little early. Just wanted to make sure everything was up and running before you guys jumped in. So let's see if everything's good. Yep, get your beverage, whether it be an adult beverage or a hydration beverage. Tonight it's water for me because we got a full moon coming up and we have a lot to talk about. So bring the questions and go ahead and wait until 7. Make sure I'm accurate in my timing. Let's see. Just about ready. All right, welcome. It is 7 o'clock, October the 15th. We are just starting to feel that Aries full supermoon energies. So I hope you guys can feel it. Let's see what I can do here. There we get more table space. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the full moon in Aries. I think that's better. And we're going to talk about some of the astrology going on. And then I want to talk about the energies. And then if you guys are joining in, bring me some questions and I can pull some mini readings for you. So let's get started. I'm going to pull a card first, and then I'm going to talk about the moonology from the moonology deck. And then we're going to talk about some of the aspects that are going on simultaneous to this full moon, which is going to make it really intense and complicated. Detachment. Just had a wonderful conversation with someone today about detachment and how attachment can really derail your sovereignty. With detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. And ironically, that's often when it is fulfilled. Okay, so let me turn this light down a little. There, that's a little better. Okay, so as far as the moonology is concerned, this full moon in Aries, the moonology deck says cool your emotions. Now, this is particularly interesting because we have had Venus in Scorpio and the moon has been in Pisces before it moved into Aries. So there's been like this emotional buildup. It feels like you're feeling a little emotionally supercharged. And some of that's going to vent out somehow. So cool your emotions, whatever you can do to kind of de-escalate your own personal energy so that you don't like get into abrasive arguments. And because, I mean, people, and look how these cards just kind of, so maybe detach from your emotions. That might be helpful. Okay, so I'm just going to start. Oh, let me talk about the aspects so you can see how complicated this is. So whether you're watching this live stream or whether or not you are going to see this when I post it, it's going to be helpful to know all of this. So October 17th, 2024 is the full moon in Aries. And at the time of this full moon, or within that window of the full moon, you're going to feel the moon squaring Mars. Okay, so Mars being the ruler of Aries. So yeah, and then the moon will be opposite the sun, therefore the full moon, and that happens at 4:26 a.m. Pacific time, and I think that's 2:26 a.m. Central. But check a time zone converter. Oh, thank you for the like. The Venus is sextile Pluto. Now Venus has been in Scorpio. And Scorpio is that kind of plutonic energy. So now you get the double whammy. The moon is squaring Pluto at the time of this full moon. Venus is going to move into Sagittarius, thankfully, which is going to be an uplift. So despite all of the complexity and the intensity, we are going to get a bit of an uplift when Venus moves into Sagittarius. And I'll be honest, I can't wait for that. The moon is then going to be in conjunct Venus. Mercury will be in conjunct the North Node, and the moon will be in conjunct the South Node. So we got the nodes of fate at play here. We've got Mercury with the North Node, moon on the South Node, the moon in conjunct with Venus, the moon aspecting Taurus, Venus moving into Sagittarius, the moon squaring Pluto, Venus sextiling Pluto, and the moon opposing the sun, hence the full moon, and then the moon also squaring Mars. So if that's just not complicated enough for you, we have all of these, kind of intense emotional energies, residual from Venus. Venus was in Pluto, and then Mars was in Cancer, I believe. So, I mean, it's like we've had this emotional buildup. And now, like I said, it says cool your emotions, because we don't want to vent. I'm feeling like this very volcanic energy. So maybe just detach, definitely detach from the news. Detach from people who are known to trigger you. Yeah, walking on eggshells. Hi, Victoria. Nice to see you again. Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of, last time I was like crawling out of my skin, but this time it's just this, it's like a dull agitation that's present constantly. And it's just like, I have no patience, and I'm trying to find my patience, but I just, it's edgy. It's just an edgy energy. So, yeah, so I'm going to pull some oracle cards. Let's just get some general. I pulled from the Divine Abundance and got the detachment card. So detachment is, it's going to be put you in an empowerment, because if you're attached to something, it can influence your sovereignty, and you then are going to be reactive, because no matter what happens, if you're attached to something, you're going to be reactive. So I want to talk about this full moon energy. It's going to be launching us out of stagnation. So if you've had an area, particularly in your chart, where you just felt like there's been no growth, we've been talking about that with that Jupiter going retrograde, in Gemini, I felt like, there were just some stagnant energies, and then all of a sudden it's going to like shake loose. And so we're going to be launched out of that stagnation, but we're also going to feel this surge with that Aries energy, this surge of independence, which is great for the sovereignty. That's why that detachment. Don't compromise your sovereignty or your independence by being in attachment energy. Assertiveness. You're going to feel very assertive. Now, I am going to say, earlier today I did a reading and I was talking about the turquoise, because one of the cards came out, it was absolutely a turquoise blue card. And I was like, I don't know what the spiritual significance of turquoise is. So I looked it up. And part of it is healing and balance, which, yeah, considering we're in Libra season. But one of the things that you're going to have difficulty is a challenge with this full moon in Aries is finding balance amidst all this tension. I mean, the complexity of the astrology, you're going to feel the tension. And like Victoria said, walking on eggshells. And I just saw 1010 on my, we just had that 1010 portal. So the turquoise is going to help with kind of bringing some calmness to these very tensive energies, but also some balance. Now, I brought two turquoise, one for me, one for you. So one for my viewers, one for you, and one for me. So you may want to just carry around a little turquoise for the next couple of days. Maybe if you have a piece of turquoise jewelry, just so that it's going to help calm some of these tensions so that you can maintain your harmony and balance. All right, let's see what the Sacred Traveler has to offer. Navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. Remember what I said about Jupiter, that we want to shift our focus to things that are really working for us, and things that aren't working for us, we're going to just stick on the back burner for a while. It's so that we can focus our energy on what's working, what it has no resistance, so that can really move us forward. And I don't know if you saw the comet. I did post a picture of the comet. I was able to get a great photograph. Tonight it's cloudy, and last night I was in town and there was too much light pollution, so I couldn't see it. So I was able to go out in the field a couple of nights ago and get a really good picture of the comet. And so I posted that on in the community section. So check that out. But if you get a chance, it's like an hour, half an hour after sunset, you're going to see it. Absolutely beautiful comet. So if not, I'll post some more pictures of it, but take that opportunity. But also, when we talk about navigating by the stars, that's alluding to all of this really intense, astrology going on that's just kind of enveloping this full moon energy. So yeah. And if you didn't check out that reading today, please do. It's got some good stuff in it. And also, I posted today video number 4 of the Twin Flame Journey. It's my Twin Flame video series. I'm trying to do a video a week on the Twin Flame Journey to help deepen the understanding. And I appreciate the comments. Someone commented today on it that it was really helping to clarify and deepen their understanding of the journey, which really helps, because if you understand what you're going through and why, then it's like, okay, it's a little bit more bearable. But the topic in today's video was the divine feminine. And I would say, I'm going to recommend it if you are a feminine energy, check out that video, because it's really going to help you understand a whole lot about why you experience what you experience in the journey. So, and it helps me, when I go through the research part, and a lot of what I post on there, the information I post is from my own personal experience, my own research, but I also spend about an hour while I'm kind of thinking about the topic. And I just do like systematic writing, free writing, and I just take whatever downloads, and some of that stuff, wow, it just, and then I go back and read it and it gives me clarity, and I'm like, well, this is helpful. So, all right, so this is the Power of Love Oracle, commitment. Some of you may be struggling with some commitment. I am going to say turquoise, the color of turquoise is this blue, and that is regarding your throat chakra. So part of the message there is, even though you feel this intensity, it might be really helpful not to express yourself in a verbally hostile way. If you need to vent, but, don't get into verbal assault, because that is with this really intense energy where you may be in that really reactive energy. So I'm just saying, you may want to, kind of keep your emotions on cool. Take them off the hot burner and let them simmer down some. All right, let's pull some tarot. This is the Zen Journey deck. Let's see what's going on. We've got the Six of Cups. Ooh, equilibrium. That feels good. So whatever you can do to keep yourself in equilibrium energy, it's going to be a give and take. Ten of Swords. There's that intensity, but it's also full moon energy, wrapping something up. We are coming to culminations with the full moon, and then it's time for the release. And you can do whatever ceremony that you do for the full moon. I do a burning bowl ceremony where I release. I did that for the new moon. But you can just write down, you can express yourself instead of being verbal. If you want to just write down what you're feeling, and instead of being vocal about it towards somebody, just write it all down and maybe get it out so that it's not festering within you. And then you can use it for your burning bowl ceremony if that helps. Welcome, everybody. But we need to do some releasing here, especially with a lot of these aspects going on. There's the Two of Wands. It's kind of setting the stage for what happens between now and the new moon that's coming up in November. So that'll be the new moon in Scorpio. I don't know. I've had I'm nothing against Scorpios, but I have had enough scorpionic energy for a bit. And Pluto feels like there's a whole lot going on. Here we have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, so what we're doing is, for this full moon, after we do this release, we're kind of setting the stage, and the word my guides are using is the tempo. Kind of setting the tempo for what's going to occur between the full moon and the new moon in Scorpio. So that's going to be, I think, some intensity. I feel like we're just going to have a whole bunch of intensity, and it's just going to be, drop after drop after drop. And it's just going to be overwhelming. It's going to be like too much information in all the aspects of your life all at one time. And you're supposed to you're like expected to process it and effectively, efficiently, with no reaction. So yeah, that's what I think we're in store for until the new moon. So maybe that's why we need the detachment energy is don't get caught up in it. Just kind of ride the energy. And there's the Four of Wands, and then we can come into balance. So that's going to be really nice. It's going to be turbulent for the next couple of weeks, at least. And of course, the US has the election, and that's all, kind of a shit show. So there's a lot of supercharged energy here. And with all the aspects that I just went over, and the fact that we're being launched out of stagnation with that Aries energy, but we're feeling this inner independence, this assertiveness, and we feel empowered, and we want to do something with all this energy. But now we've got all of this information, we've got to process, we've got to filter through. We're not supposed to react to it. We're not supposed to spout off at people. We're not supposed to lose our emotional cool. We're supposed to look on the outside. We're all calm, cool, and collected, and everything's peachy. However, inside, we're like, what in the world is going on? Why do I feel like there's this, pent up emotion that I need to get out somehow? So I'm going to pull some self-care cards here in a bit, and we're going to find out what are some good ways to be able to get some of that emotional energy out. Right now, I'm going to pull a mindfulness card. And from the mindfulness deck, help us really kind of connect. If you really feel as though you really need to do something, declutter. If you feel like you need to get this energy out and you feel like I'm feeling empowered here, you may want to declutter, because as we go through this intensity, I think it's just going to help when you don't feel like you're surrounded and bombarded by things, because I feel like you're going to be bombarded by information, and that's going to be a little bit overwhelming. And clutter can create stress, and we need to kind of detox the stress in our lives as much as possible. All right, let's see. The more grateful I am, the more beauty I see. Gratitude. Keep a gratitude journal. Write notes of the things you're grateful for. Whenever you need a boost, read through them or recap at the end of the year. Gratitude journals work great. You can do, I can do a gratitude bowl, which I call a blessing bowl. So you can get one of those kind of an artifact that you have in your house, like the crystal bowl you got for a wedding gift that you never used. Make it a blessing bowl where you can write down all the things that you're grateful for and put them in that bowl. And when you're kind of at that point where you really feel like you're going to be reactive or overreactive, go ahead and pull one of those. I do this as when I do baby showers. We do a blessing bowl, and everybody writes down a little blessing for the mom and the new baby, so that when mom is going through that moment of, she's physically exhausted, she's not getting a lot of sleep, the baby's crying, fussy, colicky, then I tell her to put the blessing bowl in the nursery. And then while you're in there rocking and you're just kind of trying to get that baby to sleep, take out a couple of those blessings, words of wisdoms from mothers that have walked that walk, so you don't feel so alone. But do the same thing for yourself, for a blessing bowl for you, so that you, in a time when you're hyper stressed, you can reach into that bowl, pull out something you're grateful for, something you feel blessed by, and it will help to center you and rekindle your stability. And with this Four of Wands, stability is going to be the name of the game during this really intense time. And as we move toward this full moon, you're going to feel the intensity heighten. It's going to become a lot more pronounced. And I think after the full moon, usually we get that release, that big exhale. I don't think we're going to feel it this time. I think this is a buildup, and it's going to build up until the full moon. And I think it's just going to be eruptive. And, I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying that it's, I think it's going to be a challenging time, and we're going to be challenged to find and maintain our balance. So now that you have that heads up, that'll help you. Okay, let's see what else going on. The past. Through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. What did we say about stagnant energy? Good thing about doing these lives in the evening and the birds are finally quiet. So if you see my readings, the minute I sit down to do readings, the birds feel spirit, and they start, and they're very vocal. So just a welcome to everybody. All right, let's see. I want to pull. I'll pull self-care last. Let's pull from the Lovers. Since we just pulled that card about love, let's see what's going on with the Lovers. I hope everybody's doing well. I just saw 2424, and I'm going to kind of keep this live a little brief, if you don't mind. It's been a kind of an exhausting couple of days. We went out on the boat yesterday, and I don't know if anybody saw my story. I posted about this is why. Remember, I've always said, remind me to listen to my own readings. So I did a reading the other day. It was about, oh, thank you for the like. I was talking about there would be a delay in travel, and I think it was, what was it, Saturday or Sunday? I think it was Sunday. There would be some sort of delay, and we saw the card of travel. So like if you were going to be traveling, so I talked about how you may get stuck in traffic, and it's going to be a blessing in disguise, because there might be an accident. There might have been some sort of incident that had you not been stuck in traffic, you would have experienced, and it would have been detrimental. So we were trying to go out on the boat on Sunday, and we went out and the battery was dead, which is odd. I mean, why would the battery be dead? It was perfectly fine. And so the battery was dead, and I was like, here's that delay, because we're not going to be able to go out on the boat because we're going to have to charge the battery. So then, I was talking to my son, and he was like, okay, we'll just take the battery out, put it on the charger. And then, he was off yesterday. And so he said, we'll just go out Monday. And I'm like, that's perfect. Weather will still be nice. Water will still be warm. We'll be able to go out. And so then I was like, wait a minute, I'm smelling something. I smell fuel. What's going on? And he's like, I don't know why. He goes, I don't think I did anything to the boat. So then we go back to where the engine compartment is, and the fuel filter fuel's just pouring out of it. And it's got this reservoir right under the engine. And so I was like, oh my gosh, aren't we lucky the battery was dead? Because had we started that engine and there been a spark, it would have ignited that whole reservoir of fuel and blown up the whole back of the boat. So I was like, see, here I am, grateful that I listened to my own reading. And I was like, there it is, right there. There was that delay that turned out to be a blessing in disguise. So we were very, very fortunate. Charged the battery, changed the fuel filter, and went out and had a beautiful day yesterday on the boat. So it was great. We live near Destin, so we went to Crab Island. If anybody knows where Crab Island is in Destin, Florida, that's where we spent our day yesterday, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Beware of what you are projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are the qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. So if you're feeling like I'm going to be this, might have a little verbal tiff with somebody, just remember that they're showing you something in yourself. But for some reason, this card comes out an awful lot. So I know there's a great lesson there for us to learn. But anyway, let's see what else. Twin flame card. I just posted that video on twin flames today. Please check that out. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose in the events of your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will be revealed. We were just talking about that. But for if you've been on my channel, you see that the white dove is my symbol for twin flames. So there it is right there. Confirmation. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose, like my battery being dead and not igniting a pool of fuel under my engine. Through turmoil, a blessing will be revealed. And now we're talking about those blessing bowls too. So here we have lots of reiterations already in this reading. So, take what resonates, please. This one's not. Oh my goodness, passion. A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Yeah, full moons are very magnetic and seductive, especially these super moons. Yeah. So, I mean, who doesn't feel like a full moon is like super romantic? We used to, when we were first married, we have our 31st anniversary coming up next week. When we were first married, if there was a full moon, we used to take a quilt out and lay under the stars and just look at the moon, champagne, kind of hors d'oeuvres. That was kind of our romantic thing. And then when we moved to Florida and we had, longer, warmer seasons, we have a little space out back where we had an outdoor bedroom. So it was very private. We used to be able, it's actually built between two garages. And we had a really, just a bed out there, and we can go out. We had it all decorated. We could just go out and look at the stars coming out. And it was really kind of cool. I'm big about full moons and champagne. You see me going out every full moon with like my champagne and my camera, and I'm always taking pictures of the full moon. And yeah, it's very energetically stabilizing for me. So, all right, let's pull. I want to pull on the soul's journey. I'm going to keep an eye on the time. 30:30. I just saw 30:30. So I'm just going to pull from the soul's journey, and I'm going to pull some more tarot, and then we'll spend a few more minutes on just talking. If you have questions, let me know. Purpose. I know what I am here to do. Yeah. Your purpose is your passion. So where the passion card is, your purpose is connected to what you're passionate about. So if it lights you up, it's part of your purpose. Now I'm going to pull from this very old deck. It has a little different meaning than traditional. It's the traditional Rider-Waite, but the meanings of those cards were very different back. And I think this was 1960. Let's see if I can find a copyright on this. No, I don't think so. No, but I remember they had an insert when I first got this deck, and it was like 1960 something. So it's an old deck. You can see how well worn this box is, but it has text on each of the cards, and they're a little different than what the meanings of these cards are now. So I do like using this because it's kind of a unique perspective. So talk to me about purpose. Ooh. Financial success in the reverse is the Five of Wands. Usually the Five of Wands is conflicting energy, but in this one, it's financial success. So be mindful of how you're using your resources. And then we have the Knight of Wands in the upright. And in this deck, it is alienation. So you may feel kind of alienated, but just keep in mind, if you feel like people aren't reaching out or being real open with communication, it might be because they're struggling with the energies. So they're probably cooling their jets too, trying to keep their emotions under control. And remember, I just went through all those aspects that are happening simultaneous to this full moon. It's complicated and it's complex and it's intense. So there's going to be a lot of emotions because so many birth charts are going to be impacted by this. Well, every birth chart is, but the complexity is going to make the interaction a lot more intense for individuals. And it's going to affect everybody differently. So keep that in mind, that somebody may be struggling in a way that's different than what you're struggling, but everybody's going to be having a challenge trying to maintain their balance. Here we have the King of Cups. Beware of ill will. So although people may be a little hyper reactive, I don't feel as though it's like malicious intent. I feel, unless we get the Seven of Swords, although in this deck, the Seven of Swords is a good card. Page of Cups. I feel like you may get a message. You may get a message from somebody or talk to somebody, and it's a veiled snark. It's almost like there's somebody that's going to be snarky, but they're going to try and pass it off in a pleasant way, almost passive aggressive. And that's that Mars energy. And especially with this throat chakra, with the turquoise, they don't want to be labeled as being rude or mean. So they're just going to be veiled snarky. And you're going to like, was that an insult? How did they mean that? That's what I'm talking about. And then, but it's going to be presented like they're going to try and be nice. Like it's an offside compliment, which it's a compliment, but they didn't mean it, that kind of thing. And then we have this Knight of Swords coming in, and this is in this deck, heroic action. So we have the Knight of Wands with this alienation, and we have this heroic action. Now, usually the Nine of Wands is somebody very impulsive, and usually like a sexual dynamic energy, kind of a player energy. But then we have over here the Nine of Swords, and I feel like we've got two knights, we've got a king and a page. So not only is it going to be complicated in energy, this might be complicated in people. We've got 4 court cards, and we got a page, 2 knights, and a king. And we've got an alienated hero. But with this action, this is Mars energy again. So with that moon conjunct Mars and this Aries energy, this Aries full moon, you're going to feel like a call to action. But what we don't want is a reaction. Oh, good. Now we get the 6 of Cups. There's going to be some times where this full moon is going to pull up some pleasant memories of childhood and or past connections or soulmates. And it could be that you got a soulmate that's, going to be that hero. Like you might be, your car may have, you've got a flat tire on the side of the road. And then all of a sudden this person pulls over and it's like, hey, I'll change that for you. And you just get that feeling like, this is somebody I feel a connection with. And, they're changing the tire. So you're small talking. Thank you so much. Can I buy you a cup of coffee? Or, I don't have any money on me, but, if you want, we can go get a cup of coffee so I can thank you, or I can buy you lunch or something. So then you strike up this soulmate. It could be a kindred spirit. It could be somebody that's come in to support you, but that's an opportunity that could come through. And I feel like that soulmate is going to be somebody, supercharged in this energy. So they're feeling extremely heroic. So they're going to do almost like the chivalrous, lay their coat down over the mud puddle so you don't get your dress dirty kind of thing. Almost an over heroic energy. But who doesn't welcome that? Oh my. So then we have the 10 of Swords again, right over the 10 of Swords. And this one is a friend's treason. Here's that malicious intent. Beware of ill will. So here's your heads up. There is somebody that doesn't have the best of intentions for you, and you probably will encounter this person, at least between now and the new moon. So just keep your guard up. Keep your guard up. Fulfillment. Okay, so this is the 9 of Pentacles, and in this deck it says fulfillment of nearby cards. Well, the nearby card is the friend's treason. So you may face a betrayal, which is somebody being reactive to this energy. Yes, keep your eyes peeled and keep them open. Yeah, you're welcome for the heads up. Yeah, I always try to give you a heads up so that you know and you're not blindsided, because I detest being blindsided. And one of the things that's beneficial about being a reader, although I don't pull readings for myself, um, I know when they're meant for me because they usually don't turn out. And they won't be postable. So like the audio will be done bad. And I think Victoria, we've run into that. Um, but it'll be some reason that it didn't take. And so I'm like, okay, I got to remember that one because that one was for me. The Hermit. Tact. Preparedness and tact. So if, and it's the light is shining right over here on this friend's betrayal and the fulfillment of that. So the Hermit energy, that is Virgo energy, and it is also about your sovereignty. So remember, we talked at the beginning of this, don't compromise your sovereignty. That's what this detachment compromises, attachment compromises your sovereignty. All right, let's see what else is coming in for this. Small disappointments, but in the reverse. It's a Two of Wands, but it's in the reverse. So yay, maybe we won't have as many small disappointments, but it's almost like there's an anticipation and expectation that things are not going to go exactly smoothly here. And they're not. They're just not. So unless your birth chart is like upside down on all these aspects, this is not going to be smooth. It's not going to be comfortable. So just anticipate that. That's why we're going to pull some self-care, because you're going to need to do whatever you can do to maintain this balance. Remember, that is going to be the challenge with all of these aspects. With this full moon until the new moon in Scorpio, we are going to find a difficulty keeping our balance with all this tension. There's going to be a lot of tension, a lot. And that is going to lead to some of these people being really stressed out. So they're just going to do stupid stuff. And somebody's going to get a betrayal. So if that happens to you, please let me know. You know, like, oh yeah, that betrayal. Good thing you had a heads up. Okay, so here we have the Queen of Swords. She's one of my favorite queens. I'll just be honest. I'm a fire sign, but I do like her. I like the Queen of Swords because she can just say it like it is. And, you know, here we have this card of tact. Queen of Swords can use tact, but she doesn't necessarily have to. She calls out the bullshit. And I feel like that might be why we're trying to kind of keep our emotional cool with the moonology, because we're going to feel eruptive as it is. But if you got something to say, it's okay to say it. You don't have to be verbally abrasive, although you are going to feel that way. Remember, we're going to have a lot of assertive energy with this full moon in Aries. We're going to feel like there's a lot we're gonna want to say, and maybe not in the most diplomatic way. I am not a diplomat, but I am the person in my family that calls out the bullshit. And I, to be honest, there's a lot to call out sometimes. So whatever. All right, let's see what else. I'm really getting some good energy from this deck. Betrayal by a friend again. This sucks. I'm sorry, but we've got a friend's betrayal and betrayal by a friend. Makes you wonder, you know, now who's going through their mind right now saying, who's that going to be? Who is the one I need to worry about the most? Might be a good idea to kind of keep things close to your chest right now, because it feels like whatever information you give out Remember, I told you we're all going to be overwhelmed with too much information. So don't do TMI to anybody right now. Keep everything close and a little bit more contained, because I feel like whatever you tell somebody in confidence is going to be used against you. That's what I'm feeling like this betrayal is with that Queen of Swords. Something about your throat chakra. So it feels like whatever you're going to say to somebody, it could also involve money with this financial success. You may loan money to a friend and they, screw you over. That one stayed on. Okay, so I have the Three of Wands. Very good, useful collaboration. Useful. A useful collaboration. That'll be interesting. So you got betrayal on one hand and a useful collaboration on the other. Oh, the Hangman. That is that shift. It's a release. In this deck, they call it transcendence, sacrifice, glory, reunification, and piety. But I feel like there's going to be a pause. So maybe whatever, when we talked earlier about whatever is stagnant, you're going to be launching out of. I'm feeling like this is just kind of a not so happy reading. There's resolution. Okay, we get the Seven of Cups in this deck. It's resolution. So good. Hopefully it's about this betrayal. That's going to be interesting. Now I'm really curious as to, who in my friendship circle I need to worry about. And I guess it doesn't matter, because if you're detached, you don't take it personally. Here we have okay. Page of Swords. This in this deck, it's called an indiscreet inquiry. Feels like somebody's going behind your back to garner information to use against you. That's just the energy I'm getting off of it. All right, we got about 15 more minutes. Some of you will be searching for a mate or a new mate, maybe a soulmate. So some of you are going to be single, and that might be what this betrayal is. Sorry. I hate to say that. I do. Might be that this commitment's coming to an end, and that you're like, you know what? That's in the past. I need to think about me. And that's what maybe this projection card is. And you may not understand why certain things happen, but it turns out to be a blessing in disguise. This might be the betrayal. Turns out to be a blessing in disguise, because you learned the truth about somebody and their loyalty to you. And now you can find a new mate or soulmate. Doesn't have to be romantic. It can be just like a mate, as in a friend. Like, good day, mate. That kind of thing. So, yeah. So it's going to reveal somebody's inauthenticity and their inability to be in a healthy relationship. So I feel like this person's got some wounding that they're projecting on you. Here we have the Seven of Wands. You're going to be defending yourself. So this person is either going to go behind your back and start to get some information because they want to derail and sabotage you, or you're going to overshare something, give them TMI, and they're going to use it against you. Like, let's just say, and this is the example my guides are giving me, like you're at work and you have a work colleague and you're telling them, something about how you feel uncomfortable around the boss, or you feel like the boss is tacky, or they don't use diplomacy, or they're too verbally abrasive, or something like that. And that person that you tell that to goes to the boss and says, you need to watch out because you got this person over here saying all these things about you. And so then the boss then has an issue, and it creates a lot of tension in your work environment. So that kind of thing. So just be careful about what you share. Don't overshare for the next couple of weeks, especially about your political beliefs, because that's going to be the inflammatory topic here over the next couple of weeks. So, maybe just don't overshare your belief system so that it can be used against you. Okay? The moon. Surprise. Mm-hmm. This is going to be illuminating. This is definitely going to be illuminating. I mean, in all aspects of the word. In this one, it is falsehood, instability, peril, disillusionment, and savagery. I mean, not a happy energy. See all those little words on the bottom? This isn't necessarily the best full moon. I'm sorry. I love full moons, but okay, so now we get the Five of Cups. And in this deck, happiness and success, gifts. There's your blessings, your silver lining. Inconspicuous at first, but it reveals itself. And then it turns into a blessing, like, I don't have to deal with that person anymore. Because you got some definite endings of some sort here going on. Could be some friendships on the line, and it's almost like good riddance energy. Could be a younger person. We're getting a lot of good info from this deck, aren't we? Temperance. Harmony, moderation, rationality, friendliness, and forbearance. Okay, so this is that balance that we're going to be very challenged to maintain. Temperance is going to be patience. And I think patience and detachment are going to be the two energies you want to be in for the next couple of weeks. Patience and detachment. Balance and detachment. Just deep breath. Find a strategy to release the pent-up emotions, because they're going to build and build and build and build. Okay, this card says a young man or a dark girl. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it could be somebody you work with. All right. We're getting down to the wire here. We got about 8 minutes. So there's the Devil. Surprised that card came out. Evil, catastrophe, captivity, disorder, and violence. I feel like we're going to see quite a bit of this going on. So detach, remain balanced. Try and find a way to release your energies in a positive, productive way. Stay away from overindulging any kind of toxic behavior. No overindulging with alcohol, drugs, the way you spend money. Be mindful of your finances. You don't overdo anything. Everything in moderation. So, if you have a drink, set a limit. Don't drink and drive. Definitely don't drink and drive. Don't drink and don't drink and drive a boat either. There's something coming out in this energy that I'm a little uncomfortable with. All right, let's do some sacred self-care and get some heads up on how we can kind of maintain our energetic balance and help us get through this time, because it's going to be intense. I don't know any astrologer that's like saying, Oh yeah, this is going to be a breeze. It's not. Don't overindulge in sex either, just in case that's. But, you know, if you are with a committed partner, sex is a great way to kind of decompress some of the energies. Hydrate. That's really important. Hey, Annika, I can take a brief question right now because we're going to close this down in about 5 minutes. So if you have a question, I can pull some cards on it really quickly. Look for the fairies. Here we have navigating by the stars and look for the fairies. And then let's do the last one, connect with crystals. So if you have particular crystals, I have some selenite and I've got my turquoise here. I think turquoise is going to be great for you to kind of carry around a little turquoise in your pocket or wear a piece of turquoise jewelry. I usually don't talk about crystals or stones, but it did come up in a reading today. So spend time with friends, trusted friends. Will I be able to get a good, decent college next year for your MBA? Yeah, the crystals card keeps coming up. Sure. Okay, let's see. Will you get into a good, decent college next year for your MBA? Well, good for you working on your MBA. Let's see. We'll pull that right before we close this out. King of Pentacles. That's good, solid energy. Judgment. Four of Wands. That's a celebratory card. And Queen of Wands. You a fire sign? Sad, huh? Well, yeah. It looks to me like it is promising. Number one, you have a 2 card here and a 4 card here, which is 6, which is equilibrium and balance, which usually is a good indicator. But also the fact that you came up in the reading, you're a Sag. This is Queen of Wands is kind of fire sign energy. But then there's this King of Pentacles over here, which is really grounded and masterful. So if you're going for your masters, I feel like that is definitely an indication. 8 of Cups, another, yes, movement forward, moving on to something very meaningful for you. And then the 2 of Pentacles. Now, usually the 2 of Pentacles means it's struggling and juggling, but in this card, they're in alignment. So I feel like the decision, the college that you get into is going to be aligned with the proper decision for you, especially when you have this Queen of Wands card here, and then the 4 of Wands, which is a celebratory card, very stable. But for me, 4 of Wands is usually a celebration. So yeah, I think you're going to be happy with it. Let's see, bottom of the deck. 7 of Swords. Just be careful. Don't self-sabotage and don't overanalyze. So make, oh, you're welcome. There's something to be mindful of. Let's find out what that is. I'm going to use this one since it's given us such good information. There's something you need to be mindful of. And I'm feeling like in the application process, is there a particular school you're looking at going to? I did my master's I finished in 1990. That's how old I am. I finished my PhD in 2013. We'll be giving exam in November. Oh, well, good luck. I bet you're studying like crazy. Oh, the Chariot. Yay! Good news there. Will my exam go well? I think so. I think you're prepared for it. I think you're taking it seriously. It says triumph, victory. It's going to be some challenges, but I think you're going to do it just fine. And on that, I just saw 59, 59. Okay, friends, I am going to call it a night. I'm tired. I'm ready to kind of get some sleep and really start kind of decompressing from these energies. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me. So thank you all. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for visiting. I hope everybody navigates these energies. I hope this goes smoothly. If you need a personal reading to help you get through this, or if you have this betrayal that you need a reading on, let me know. Just email me at the description box, the email in the description box. And I have some time in the next week. I actually could probably squeeze it in before the full moon if you really need that. So, but in between now and the new moon, if you're getting some particular stuff kind of coming to the surface and you need a little guidance, let me know. I'll be happy to pull a reading for you. So on that note, I just saw 10101. So that to me is it's time. Thank you all so much. I enjoy these Tuesday night events with you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Check out that twin flame reading I posted today. It's going to help if you are a twin flame and you're trying to navigate that. Bye, everybody. I'll see you very soon.